you know, this is going to be coming through your backyard and you guys have a lot to worry about. And as I've been dealing with these issues, I've been talking online with people, and we've been having these debates, and it's kind of like the same debate that we're having here. Who can we consider an authority? Who can we trust anymore, you know? We have these guys we see in this video who are saying one thing, that these pipelines are going to be safe and that it's going to provide all this economic benefit to your communities. And then we have the other side of the issue, we have the environmentalists saying that it might not be safe. So I looked up the word authority last night just to be able to come up with the actual definition of the word for you guys. What is it to be an authority? Who do we turn to when we have the bodies that have ostensibly been created for our protection, like the NEB, EPA, that aren't really meeting our needs? So the first definition and the second definition were pretty much the same. And they say that to be an authority is to have a power or a right to give orders or force obedience. So what we have is we have members of your community and members of other communities who are trying to protect their land, and they're being clamped down upon and being shut down by these authorities. So the first two definitions were a little bit circular, you know, they don't really give a definition. And the third one does. It gives the definition, the power to influence because of one's recognized knowledge. So you can become an authority because you're a reliable source. Now, are these companies that are telling us that this stuff is safe, are they reliable sources? Well, I can only speak to my own experience. I've been traveling for the past few years in different locations. I've been all along the Gulf Coast states. I've been at the Yellowstone River where ExxonMobil had a spill. I've been along the Kalamazoo River, all these places for months at a time. And I've most recently been at the Mount Poly chemical spill. You guys are going to be dealing with Enbridge in particular. This company's cleanup effort along the Kalamazoo River in Battle Creek, Michigan was basically throwing sawdust and grass seed down, saying it was cleaned up. They went back many times, and the whistleblowers, members of the community, had to go and show that the oil wasn't cleaned up, and force the company to go back and do a proper cleanup. I was at the Kalamazoo River, and seeing what happened there for months at a time. I spent a little bit of time along the Yellowstone River with ExxonMobil. The Yellowstone River, I went and interviewed the director of communications from the company there, and I asked him about cleanup, and he said, look, you know, we have three floors of this hotel here. Look at all these wonderful people here working on this cleanup. And I said, yeah, you know, I do see all these people, I do see this hotel, but I don't see any actual cleanup. This is good for public relations and stuff, but what about the actual cleanup? And he said, if you go to the site, you'll see that there's all kinds of people there. And I said, sir, no, I was just there moments before arriving here. And I was. And on that river there was all kinds of bottles of water and energy bars and all kinds of things like that, but there was no cleanup workers. They were telling people that they were cleaning it up, but they weren't. I was at Mount Poly just recently where the chemical spill happened. There was no cleanup effort whatsoever, anywhere. We went to all the 4 relevant sites, the spill site, Hazelton Creek, Lake Poly, and Lake Quinnell. There was no workers anywhere doing anything. These authorities that I'm speaking of, the people that we look to protect us, they were telling us all and telling the people there that it's safe. The water's safe to drink. Yet the spill didn't stop. The cleanup effort, as allowed by our government, the other bodies there to protect us, continue the spill. Allow it to drain and lower the level of Lake Poly back to the level it was before. That was the cleanup effort. How can we tell you that the water's safe to drink when the chemicals haven't even stopped flowing yet? The tests cannot be valid. They couldn't have been valid. These are the authorities. These are the people that we respect and we look to. The BP oil spill, they've had a huge campaign to try and get people to go back along the Gulf Coast states for tourism, showing all kinds of photos of people fishing and pulling out these wonderful fish. But if you talk to the fishermen there, if you talk to the people that live along the shores, they'll show you the photos of all the shrimp, all the fish with lesions. They'll show you their blood test reports. that they have chemicals like benzene in their system. They'll tell you that their friends and family are dying and they're all sick, that their dogs are dying, that their animals are dying. The blood and the chemicals in their blood can't be faked. They didn't put it there themselves. I brought tar logs from the BP oil spill from the Mississippi Barrier Islands to BP headquarters during the Olympic Games when they were the sustainability partner of the Olympics. I presented them with the logs and I said, you know, you're telling everybody that it's safe here, that people can swim in the Gulf, that they can fish, and that everything will be okay. How can that be the case when we have these logs of oil that are washing ashore every few feet along the Barrier Islands? How can that be? How can those two fit together? And these really super eloquent speakers, these lawyer guys from BP said to me, that's not our oil. There's no way to show that that's our oil. Have you fingerprinted that oil? And I said, yeah, you know, I'm pretty sure that this is your oil, because did anybody else dump millions of barrels of oil into the Gulf, or was it just you guys? And it was, but they're trying to convince us that it wasn't them, and we have to believe them because they're the authorities. Everywhere we go, every protest happening anywhere, the police are clamping down. People are talking about the protests that are happening, and police are coming and kicking people out of the protest and arresting people. They're removing people from their homes under eminent domain. These are the authorities. These are who we look to and believe. We give them this blind faith. Now, these people, these companies, these people that are proposing to come through your backyard, that are telling you that you can trust them, that they're going to be acting in good faith, well, I just showed you that they're not acting in good faith. We can see that they're not acting in good faith. They pay the police to work on their salaries. Can we pay the police to come into our backyards and protect them and keep them out? I don't think so. They pay the media. That gentleman Black, who owns the Prince George Citizen and all the other papers around here, he's proposing building something in Kitimat. Like, these guys run the media, they control the police, and they control the government. And so we've basically got to realize who the real authorities are. Are the authorities the people that have been lying to us repeatedly over and over again? Or is Togastad the authority? To me, being a person from Toronto and who's been traveling all around this world trying to understand things and trying to investigate the situation, he's the only guy that I've seen that I trust anymore. You know, I see him out there putting himself on the line. He's the real deal. He's available. He's transparent. To me, that's the authority. When you talk about putting in what it takes to become an authority on something, that's the man who's doing something. He's the one who's there protecting, and Frida as well. And that's basically it. I just want you guys to know that these people can't be trusted.